2 and 2. Hey, Abby.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. It was a bit grey earlier, but now it's clearing up.
Yeah, it's already brightened up here in Essex, so I'm feeling great.
Nice. And yeah, I had a nice evening last night. Didn't do much. Yeah, just chilled. And yeah, looking forward to the day. Good, exciting day. Yeah.
Really excited.
Yeah, that's going to be great. And yeah, what else can I tell you? The drilling is still going on next door, which is annoying, but never mind. I've got the window shut. It's actually quite good, but it's not, because the room heats up a lot. And I want to open the windows, but this guy next door is just going, that's painful. There's a wall next to our house, and they just build it kind of right up next to us. And we've got a little balcony. And the bit that they did, almost deliberate, it's really sloppy, and then we complained. So they've done the rest of it brilliantly, but the bit that we see is just this really sloppy wall.
Oh no!
I actually talked to someone about it. It's like, can't we just put some plants in it or something, or just can't we do something about it? They go, no, that would be illegal because it's their wall. It's like they're almost going, you got a stupid wall to look at the rest of your life. Anyway, never mind. What are you going to do? People need houses. Building work is a good thing on the whole, so you can't complain. 59 needed there. Just a moment to go. We don't want to do anything too crucial at this stage, but yeah, welcome for everybody. Or you, what to be early is to be on time, as they say. So here at 9:59, you get my respect and approval. It's a good thing. Early is good. And got my slides ready. Yeah, no, big changes today. I don't want to go into too much detail before everyone else gets here. But yeah, having said that, it's now officially 10 o'clock, so I think we could probably begin, couldn't we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So I am just going to, actually, I don't think you need to show you these slides. They're just boring bits of type. I'll just tell you it. First of all, we want to say thank you so much for your feedback. That was great to see. Very much appreciated. We ran one of these workshops as lockdown was announced in the UK, and it was amazing how people were going, thank God for this structure. Oh, it's so good to see people. And I also think that kind of the way that we've all gone online over lockdown and over the pandemic is really kind of, in many ways, humanized the internet and made it much more of a kind of a nicer place to be, perhaps made it the way it should be. Some would say. So yeah, thanks again for your feedback, and I'm glad it's proving useful for you, and thanks for your constructive criticism as well, always really useful. We have now, I can't remember who suggested it, forgive me, but we've now split the questions in the sharing channel in two. So yeah, Abby did that, so thanks for that, Abby. And so yeah, there's different purposes now, I guess. We've split them up, is that right?
Yeah, I think it was Katerina suggested splitting them up. So we've split the sharing. So when we ask you how an exercise was, chuck that in sharing now, and then any questions about maybe not knowing what to do or any questions for the speakers can now go in question. So yeah, thanks for the feedback. Yeah,
and it's how we make this workshop better every single time. We're great to hear your insights because you're experiencing it. You know, I've never done it. Abby, you've done it. Yeah, and it changes all the time. So you probably know much more about what's important for your end. Just want to flag out again that we are live streaming the workshop, and you may see Maria, who will always have. Who will always have the words. Anyone who works for Modual will have the words Modual staff after their name. So if you see Maria coming into any of your rooms, that's because she is streaming the feed live into the Module live channel, which is how we do this workshop with the wider world. And again, if you've got an issue with that, please let us know. We'll make sure you're not part of the stream. Absolutely not a problem. So, but the big news today is that you are no longer going to be doing stuff in pairs. Pairs, so Monday, so over. We are now putting you into client groups. That's the term we use. So you're going to be in teams of about 15, 16, 17 people, something like that, I think it is. And we have assembled these teams based to some degree on the ideas that you posted on Slack after the exercise yesterday about purpose. So there is a method to this selection. Very important thing to say here is this is not your final team. You will be working in this client group for a couple of days, and then we will be reassigning and reallocating, and in fact you will be reassigning and reallocating to various different teams, and we'll tell you about that later on. But the thing I think to stress here is that it's called, we call it a client group because it's about imagining that you're not the people who have to do the work. You're coming up with a bunch of ideas. You've got concerns about the world. You want to change the world. You know, you want to make things better in one specific way, and hopefully there's some commonality there. And if there isn't, that's fine as well. So you're thinking, you're doing the research, basically. You're thinking, it's almost like you're going to commission somebody else. You're going to go and find some cool designers or creative people to carry out your ideas. But what you're not necessarily needing to do here is make them yourself. You're still dreaming. We're still very much in a dreaming space. If you remember that diamond from day one, from yesterday, we're still in the wide bit. We can dream all we want, and there'll be more dreaming later on. The structure gods will come through the door soon enough, towards the end of the week, busting in there, breaking everything, and pushing you into boxes. But right now we can go big, we can go wide, so let's do that. So to kick off the client group reassignment, as I say, you've all got a client group. It's got a color as its name. Hope you like the color you're in. If you don't, I apologize. Never mind. Bear with it. Again, these aren't forever, so you don't have to worry about being in the puce client group. If that bugs you, that's not a problem. That's the first color I can think of. Teal. That's another one, isn't it? Teal's a weird one. And you're going to have a breakout room as well, which will be where you go to hang out with all these people shortly. And the first thing you're going to do in your client group is you're going to do the Pecha Kucha. And we've been talking about this for a while. So I will now share some slides just to talk through the points of the Pecha Kucha because I think it would be useful. I'm not going to turn my microphone off. I am going to press play. So you should now see a slide that says welcome client groups. It should be coming up. Isn't someone let me know? I'm sure you will. And then I'm just going to run through some slides talking about what a Pecha Kucha is and how we do it. So a Pecha Kucha is a presentation where you do not, where you have a fixed period of time for each slide. So you can't just waffle like I am now and go yada 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 yada. Am I ready to change my slide? Not sure. Maybe I am. Have I got some more things to say? I think I have. Nor can you go this side, bonk, this side, bonk, this side, bonk, I'm done. You have to show each slide for 20 seconds. That's the deal. And you've all got 5 images and your name. So it's kind of like a way of introducing yourself to the rest of your client group and saying, here I am, here's what I do. It's a little bit of kind of getting to know you time, but in a slightly more formalized way. And everybody share their Pecha Kucha. So you'll get to meet so the deal is basically when it's your turn Pecha Kucha, everyone should start, when the Pecha Kucha starts, obviously when you first go in your client group, you're going to be getting yourself organized, absolutely turn your camera on, unmute your mic and so on. And I went through the kind of protocol of how you operate in a group yesterday. I hope you remember it, it's quite a long time ago now. Time in Modual goes in a weird way. You'll get more of that in a bit, but yeah, I think normal protocol group in a group call, I'm sure you're all familiar with this, especially if you're trying to get things done, is for everybody to mute their microphones until they want to speak, and possibly even raise your hand if you want to speak. Obviously that doesn't apply to Pecha Kucha, but just for future reference. Anyway, in the Pecha Kucha, when it's your turn, you'll have your camera off, but your turn will come, your name is the first slide on the screen, so then unmute your microphone and turn your camera on. So you're the only person with your camera on. I think me and Abby can replicate that, we'll see. We'll have a go anyway. And then mute your mic and turn your camera off when you finish. And then when you've done everybody, that's the end of the Pecha Kucha session. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Here's my name, it is now my turn. So whoever was going before me will now say thanks very much or whatever. And I am now here, I've got my camera on, and I'm now speaking to you. So I can't change the slide, I have to stick on this slide for 20 seconds. And when it's done, which is going to be any second now, I hope, it will, there we go. So this is a bench in Mumbai. We did a module in Mumbai, and it's got a cassette, and I love it because it's just, I love cassettes because I grew up with them, and it's a beautiful object, and I would sit on it very happily. I think it's kind of lovely to see things like this in the environment. I love music, and I love design, and I love kind of jokes. It's a bit of a joke. Now that was 20 seconds, so I changed the slide. This is my favorite record cover. I love record sleeves. I love records. It's by a band called XTC. It was designed by a company called Hypnosis, who are Pink Floyd sleeves. And it's a great, again, it's a great joke. It's kind of telling you about something that it's trying to do. And now the slide changes, again, 20 seconds in. The slide, the slide gets changed, I change the slide. Here is a screen grab from Ableton Live, which is music software. I make music, and I like the way it creates patterns when you make music. So when I design record sleeves, which I do sometimes, I'd like the slide to change now, but I have to wait 20 seconds. Here we go, it's changing now. When I design record sleeves, I use patterns because I think that patterns, this is one of my record sleeves, I think patterns kind of look the same. For electronic music, I think they're a really good way of representing the process because you have the same in the graphic design and in the music design, the copy and paste and the repeating of the loops. And lastly, here is my final slide. It's about an interactive exhibition called Introvox, where you could trigger music and light. And I'm a big fan of trying to find new ways to engage people beyond the screen in the digital world. And yes, I've got nothing else to say, but we wait 20 seconds anyway. And then the slide changes. Round of applause for me. Hooray for me. Round of applause. And you can do that virtually if you want, just by waving your hands. But now it's Abby's go. I shut up.
Cool. Hello. Yes, the name slide comes up, and it's quite a long slide, but interesting. My name is very, very British. I think it's very like stereotypical British. My middle name is Rose as well. Here you go. Here's a picture of a band called the Newtown Neurotics sitting on top of a Henry Moore family group sculpture that's in my town. I mentioned before, I'm from a new town called Harlow in Essex, and I love it so much. I think this photo really sums up the kind of vibe that my town can give. This is a book I did I think it was in 2017 now, or 2018, with Fraser Muggeridge Studio, where I redrew all of his graphic design in crayon as a kind of way to break down bits of design and what they actually kind of look like when they're all scribbly and kind of sectioned apart. I'm a huge wrestling fan. This is I think the first ever Royal Rumble t-shirt, which also ties into my love of vintage clothes. I'm on the hunt for this shirt, so if anyone sees it, let me know. But I think it's worth quite a lot of money nowadays. But yeah, I love wrestling. I think it's like almost like drag. It's really, really great. And then this is a photo of me and my partner Harry. We run a design studio together, but this was a photo of us getting fake married in Vegas just after we graduated. It was hilarious. We decided on the day to do it, and all of the people that came to the wedding, we had no idea who they were. So good memory to eventually tell someone. And this is Joey. He's one of my favorite characters in Animal Crossing. I think a lot of people have found solace in Animal Crossing during lockdown. And yeah, I just love him. He's a small duck in a diaper. So what's there not to love? That's it.
That is the deal. Oh, yeah. And yes, I hope that is clear. So we're going to send you off to do that in a moment. If you have any issues or problems, we have obviously our wonderful team to help you out. But basically, we're going to give you, as I say, there should be sort of 15, 16, 17 people in each group. So we're going to give you 40 minutes from now to do this. And then we'll all meet back in here. If you finish early, have a little tea break. That's no problem at all. But yeah, I'm assuming I see no questions currently. And as I say, we've got a lot of people to help you. I think we're just going to go for it. You got something to say, Abby? So we go for it.
Yeah, and please let us know if it's missing, or if somehow we've not managed to find your Pecha Kucha. Just let a member of staff know, and we can sort that out for you.
Work it out, I'm sure. And as I say, there will also holler in Slack if you're having issues. Alrighty, I think we're going to do this. go to your Pecha Kucha. We'll see you back here. Let's get the timing right. 40 minutes. Let's say 5-2. That makes sense, doesn't it? So 10:55. We're back in here. Try and have a little break beforehand if you get through it in time. But if you don't worry about it. 10:55. See you later. Go introduce yourselves to each other in your Pecha Kuchas. Have a nice time. See you later.
About football. Next. I'm currently reading this book, Hood Feminism, Notes from the Women That a Movement Forgot. It is honestly, there's things that I already knew, but the way that they're articulated has enabled me to support our girls so much better and making sure that no girl issue slips through the cracks. And I love typography. You might have seen a bit of hand lettering before. I do all hand lettering, but I'm obsessed with experimental type. So this was the word loved written out of 182 pieces of hand folded origami as part of a type intervention. So like a type intervention that we did with Brixton. Oh, sorry.
I think we're having an issue with the slides. We're not seeing them switch. Sorry.
Sorry.
We haven't seen the slides switch. I don't know what happened during.
Oh, you didn't see my slides change?
No.
Oh no, that's such a shame. Okay, no worries. Thanks for letting me know on mine. That's super helpful. So let me just come back out. Sorry about this. That is so annoying. Stop sharing. So was it just on my desktop?
It's stuck on like the split screen of PDF, if that makes sense.
Okay. That's really helpful to know. Thank you. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's switching through.
Okay. Just so you get a bit of a flavor of me, I'm going to do it really quick, just so you can see that, because that's super unfair. I'm really glad you told me before we went through absolutely everybody. So thank you for being honest. I'm going to go in full screen mode. Just shout if you can't still see it. Can you see it all okay? Yeah, wicked, thumbs up. So this was what I was talked about before. This is me looking nervous at Modual. Sisterhood, the social enterprise I founded. The book I'm reading right now. Obsessed with typography. This is the origami type. So you got a flavor of everything. I'm going to send this Pecha Kucha on our Slack channel anyway, so you're going to be able to see everything. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it on to Pecha.
Hi.
Hi.
It's Pecha.
Pecha. Thank you so much. Please just let me know if you if I get any mispronounce anything, and if you prefer a nickname, and I'll update all the register. So without further ado, kick off. Your 20 seconds starts now.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Pecha. I'm from India, and my name actually means expectation. Okay, I don't have anything more to say, but
just feel it's okay. Anything that comes into your mind.
Well, I'm studying accountancy currently, and I'm going to make my passion switch next year. So, and 20 seconds pretty long out here.
Can you see the screen? I think the screen, the picture has changed. So here you go.
Yes, now I can. So I'm interested in photography, and this is a pic I took from. We were traveling, I guess, in Scotland, and okay, it changed. It's all right. So I'm currently doing content writing, and this is one of the articles that I've published recently. It's on a financial and taxation website. Okay. Is it changing?
There we go.
Okay. So this is a sneak peek into my daily routine. The window ahead shows all the timetables I have to study currently for my exams, and yeah, the picture on the side shows about the doodling, which I keep on doing in all my books. I think that's the only thing which keeps everything balanced and sane. This is my love for baking, and my love for food as well, desserts obviously. Yeah, there's nothing much. So this is a rare photo of me with my family, which was taken roughly when we were dropping my brother off to the airport. And yeah, this is one of the rare pics, so I treasure them a lot.
Okay, that's me. My name is Caterina Daltro. There's an R roll in there, so whatever you can manage with the R, I'm happy with. I'm currently a master's student at UAL, and I'm studying media communications at LCC, so I'm based in London. I'll get into like a little bit more of my background and my pictures. But yeah, Caterina Daltro. Okay, this is, I'm originally from Brazil, so this is a picture in Brazil and the beach that I miss very much, especially being in London. I was born in São Paulo, but my family is kind of from all over Brazil. This particular is from the north of Brazil, where it's pretty much always summer, which is really nice. This is my cat. Her name is Bella. She's really cute, and she's like 90% of my camera roll, so I had to include her. She is 7-year-old, and she's really tiny. She weighs like 3 kilos, and she never really grew out of that. Yeah, I love her, and she has her little tongue out in the ears. This is my first like career job I had after college. It's an advertising agency in Miami, Florida. They're kind of small, but they're part of a bigger agency, and it was a really good experience. It's where I got a lot of my like work skills started, and I worked in the account side, so kind of managing clients. This is a hobby of mine, puzzle making. I don't know if it can be considered a hobby, but I love making puzzles. This is the biggest one I've made. It was 3,000 pieces. Took me a second to do. And as you can see, there's a little piece that's missing, and I was heartbroken, but it was found like 6 months later under one of those carpets around there. So yeah. This is the last concert I went to, which was the Jonas Brothers, which was a huge throwback. It was in February, and it was a blast. I don't think I've ever had so much fun. And on top of everything, I was solo on the concert because I had just moved to London. I didn't really know anyone, and it was still a really good time. And I would encourage anyone to do that.
Hi, everyone. Hello, I'm Chang, and in Chinese, my name is He Chang. Yeah, let's begin. Oh, okay. The first slide also have 20 seconds. Oh yeah, I'm Chang, and I come from China. My undergraduate major was industrial design. This picture too, and the second one is a picture, and the rest are my roommates. The life at school with like-minded friends was really enjoyable, and I really miss my time. Okay, and my university has a background of petroleum and new energy. So during my undergraduate, I have participated in many mechanical equipment design. The following one is a combustible ice mining equipment on seabed surface, which have 3 different collectors to adapt to different seabed surface. It's a really huge program. And also I have participated in many service design programs. This picture shows the scene of the test of one project called the Background Society. When I saw the homeless and the residents change valuable items with each other, everyone laughed happily. And I feel the power of social innovation to support. Yeah. And during my free time, I like play guzheng. Yeah, you can see the picture. It's a Chinese traditional instrument with movable bridges and 21 strings, which is also called Chinese zither. This photo shows the scene when my friend and I prepared for the guzheng show at school. The sound of the guzheng is really crisp, and yeah, the next one I want to share about you is the view outside my window. When I feel tired or in a bad mood, I prefer to appreciate the colorful clouds and the big city in front of the window. This vast and beautiful scenery places me in the grandeur of nature and opens my mind to a fresh state. So I want to share with you with the beautiful picture. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ailey. Ailey is I'm from Glasgow, I'm from Scotland. Ailey is a Gaelic name, because all my family from the Highlands and Islands of Scotland, apart from me. and I think it means in English Helen, or yeah, I think it means Helen. This was one of the projects I did last year, and it was about we got given a hotel to design a space in. So this is kind of just what I do in uni. I do interior design. So I was designing I was wanting to like repurpose old Scottish stories and mythology in a contemporary space. So that was just a section from the project. This is my dog. This is Mac. He's a Labradoodle. He's really fluffy, and I wanted to get a photo of him in the snow because normally it's really hard to get a photo of him because he's so dark. He just looks like a wee Oreo. He's so cute. I love him. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about him. This is I can't remember who the artist was, but this is an exhibition in Glasgow. I love to go to exhibitions, and I can't remember the artist's name, but it was to do with lighting, and it was in the tramway in Glasgow, and it was amazing. You could actually go on top of the chandelier and walk about it. And the top was like a garden with like lots of collated items. That was another project I did for Design Domain, and oh yeah, it wasn't a cave. And it was a grow your own wallpaper, and we were doing a project on how to like play with tenant houses. So I just kind of went straight to like a grow your own kit, because a lot of Victorian wallpaper in tenant houses was actually poisonous. So no, that's what I did. That's the Devil's Pulpit, and it's really cool because back in the olden days, people thought it was cursed because the minerals in the soil make the water go red. So when the sun hits it, it looks like blood. It's pretty creepy, but it's really, really nice. And if you watch like Outlander, or there's a Pokemon film that came out, they always film there. So a lot of like film places go there. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Ella. I've just finished at Glasgow School of Art, and I did textile design, specialising in knit. Yeah, I think that's all I can really say. So during lockdown, my brother came back home from London, and we've been enjoying cooking lots of really nice meals. This is one that my brother cooked, and also my dad took an interest in trying to grow some vegetables. So the salad is freshly grown from our garden. This is my knitting machine that I bought a couple of weeks ago. I sort of felt a bit lost during lockdown, not like being able to create anything. So I decided to buy just a simple domestic knitting machine, and been really enjoying making some clothes for myself. Yes. This is, I went to Greece last year, and this was part of my final project in my final year, and I collected all these pebbles and bits and bobs from the beaches, and I sort of curated them to look like a sort of museum, I don't know, collection, and I really love the beautiful colours. This is some of my work. This was 2 samples from my final collection, which I knitted on a stole machine, which is like a digital knitting machine. Yeah, I just really like the way that the shadows and stuff looked in the sunlight. Enjoyed taking pictures of that. Cool, thank you.
Do we have Elle with us this morning?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Great. I'm gonna kick off. Right, you're 20. You can do a quick intro. I'll give you 10 seconds.
Yeah, I'm Elle, short for Eleanor. I graduated last year from Nottingham, studying set design. So that's basically what I do, sort of on a freelance basis. Basically based in London. Half Irish. Okay, so this is a picture from my local area. I found sort of during lockdown, like I found it really relaxing, sort of exploring all the local parks in the area. Yeah, I just found this is a particularly nice spot to come and just meditate or just walk my dog. This is my dog Molly. She's 8 years old, but she basically acts like a puppy. And yeah, she's a golden doodle, which is half golden retriever and poodle. And yeah, so this is a still from like behind the scenes of a music video I worked on, and it's basically just me, the artist, and the cameraman like discussing what we're doing in a sort of serious way. I think this is about 6 in the morning. There's another picture of when I was working on a stop motion. And yeah, I was just involved with sort of painting one of the sets that I think was going to be later used in like an advert or something. And so yeah, that was quite fun. And yeah, just over the lockdown, I've started doing some more digital art, and this is inspired by Normal People, which I read the book and then watched the series and got obsessed with it as everyone else did. Yeah, I think that's it.
Hi, I'm Helena, and I've just graduated from GSE, and I was doing product design. And I live in Glasgow, and I'm from Glasgow, so I haven't gone anywhere. I'm trying to think of something to say. Yeah, so this represents what I wanted to do when I left high school. So I really love like stop motion animation and prop making, so I'm a bit jealous of the last girl. And I thought that product design would be like a good route into that industry. But it turned out to be completely different from how I expected. So I learned all about like experience design, future thinking, and then I discovered that I like to work through a satirical lens. So that's a picture from the show Fleabag, which uses like humor to cover a lot of dark themes, which is what I quite like to do with some of my projects. Speaking of, this is one of my final year projects, which was like looking at creating roles and improving access to healthcare for women in rural communities of the global south. And it was all about like recycling the idea of witch doctors. I had a lot of fun with like matriarchies. I was looking at like medical textiles and things like that, which is quite fun. There's another project which became really unnecessarily or accidentally relevant because it's about like the worried well, who are people who are really like overly worried about their health for no reason. So I was looking at like the power of distraction to help people cope with like anxieties and things like that. And then since lockdown, I've sort of rediscovered my love for like model making. I've had a lot of fun like sculpting characters, which sort of takes me like full circle in sort of where I might go in the future and what I might want to do as a job. So yeah. I don't know what to say.
Hi, I'm Ingrid. I've got a very Scandinavian name, but I'm actually from Jakarta, Indonesia. Used to be based in London, but I moved back here like a couple of years ago. Yeah. Okay, so this is the Professor Stewart Hall building in Goldsmiths. And this is where I did both my undergrad and my postgraduate degree. So I did an undergrad in media communications, and then I did my postgraduate in branding, communications, and culture. And being in Goldsmiths was like the best time of my life. And this is me making a film. So that was like my practical option, was to make a film. I ended up making quite a few. I produced films. I ended up making quite a few, and I made 2 documentaries for my last films. So I'm quite proud of that as well. And this is what I do. I am a brand and communication consultant. I have consulted different entities and companies across several different industries. So yeah, that's how I make my living, basically. What else? So I'm also quite involved in a few feminism and social justice causes here in Indonesia. So my ideology is quite important to me, especially in a country like this, where there's like a lot of human rights violation. And this is my passion. So I am a board game geek. I love playing board games. I collect board games. And I also founded and run one of the biggest board game communities right here in Indonesia. And that's it, I think. Yeah, that's me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Iona from Scotland, and my name is it's an island in Scotland. I just graduated from a Master of European Design, where I started with product design, and then I also studied at Glasgow School of Art, and then I also studied in Germany and in Milan as well. So this is a project I did with Glasgow City Council, and it was like a futuring project where we're exploring the future of data and how data would change how the council engages with citizens in the future. And we ran workshops and things where we brought our research to citizens of Glasgow. I'm really interested in biodesign. So this was like a mood board from my master thesis project. And it's kind of looking at how we can use algae in the future or nature-based solutions to climate change. Yeah. And this is a photo from my master thesis project of me wearing a mask with some plants coming out of it, which was kind of, it ended up kind of exploring how our relationship to nature might change after COVID-19. And it was kind of trying to, yeah, okay. So this is just a picture of like how I kind of like to work. I think of it in kind of journeys and user like storyboarding and things. And it was a transmedia project, trying to get more young people to go to museums. I also really like kind of model making, and I also kind of wanted to do like animation, stop motion animation and stuff before I started uni, and kind of ended up in the same situation as Helena, I think. But this was from a workshop I did called Making a Monster.
Do we have Juliana? Can't see everyone's names. Give me one sec. No worries. We can.
Hi, hello everyone. This is Manoj. I am an engineer by education, and more recently I have got interested into creativity and design, and have done some graphic designing course. I am an innovation consultant and an idea coach. So this is a photograph I've taken in West Palm Beach. I was on a business trip, and I really like nature, and this is one of those shots in the evening. And Yeah, this is just a picture of women bandana. I think the message here is that you can find meaning or colors in anything, if you really look at, and find pleasures in small things is what I wanted to convey here. This is a piece of Mexican quesadilla, and I really like experimenting with different kind of foods, and this is one of my favorites, Mexican food. Again, another picture that you can find color in small things, small pleasures. And while this is something eatable, jelly, but I really found the color combinations very interesting, and couldn't stop myself taking the shot. So it was my dream to run a marathon, which I am yet to achieve, but I've done half marathons. And this was, I think, in Long Beach, California. I was on a visit again and took the opportunity to run a local marathon. This was, that's all. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mary, and I am in Glasgow as well. I study at GSA doing product design engineering. I think that's literally all I would say about myself. This is a picture I took last week. I was like, I like going into the Highlands in Scotland and climbing Munros, which is like all the higher mountains in Scotland. There's like 200 on them, and I've not even done 10 yet, but I'll get there. And this was one called Ben Cruachan, and then this is a thing I did for a project last year. I really like doing like 3D CAD, and this was just like a thing I made for it's a train station shelter to bring joy to train stations, inspired by sort of biophilic design. And then this is just like me and my free time, what I enjoy doing, just like hanging out with friends in my garden and having a barbecue. So that's basically just what I did as soon as lockdown lifted a little bit. And then this is the other bit, like also like 3D model making sort of, but this is like the physical side, which is the other part that I really enjoy doing, because it helps to sort of figure out, like in my course you have to do a lot of figuring out like what to change and what's going to work and stuff, and so this is like a really good way, and I really enjoy like going into the workshop and using tools and stuff like that. So this, and then the last one, this is a picture from a climate march in Glasgow last year, and that's just like to show like that's the sort of cause I would be more passionate about in like my general life, and also like in any work I do in uni and stuff, trying to like, obviously it's like big issue at the moment, so that's like what I would be more passionate about.
Hello, Michelle. I apologise for the lack of video, but I ate something that hasn't agreed with me, and my bathroom is my new home for this morning, so I didn't want to scare you all.
Michelle, are you all right to crack on with this? We could. Are you happy to?
Yeah, no, I'm good for the minute, thank you.
Oh, you absolute trooper! You absolute trooper. Well, if you need to leave, just shout, and we're all here with you. You poor thing. But yeah, I'll reset your timer, and you can. I'll skip to the next slide. But well done. Hang on. There we go. Off you go.
So this is a theatre festival called 1448, and using the video mapping software, we were providing the backdrop for the different theatre plays during the day. So there were 7 new plays that were put on, and then we just changed the backdrop between them, which was quite fun because it's the world's quickest theatre festival. And this is because I really enjoy photography, and I often take my camera everywhere with me. And this was in Bournemouth, and I was quite happy with the picture of the squirrel because he looked quite cute, and he was teasing us as he was walking, as we were walking through the gardens. And we do a lot of video projection at festivals, and this was me 2 years ago after I snapped my knee to prove that nothing was going to stop me going to festivals. And that's my favourite tent, which is potentially on its way out now because it's about 10 years old, and it's been all over the UK in various different degrees of muddiness. And this is, I really, really love shoes, and all weird and wonderful ones, especially Regular Choice, which is the ones with the Bambi heels. And I have quite a vast collection that I have to sometimes hide from the boyfriend, so he doesn't know how many I have. So lockdown's been difficult. And these are my 3 cats. And this is the look you get when you don't share your prawn cocktail with them, and they just gang up on you. So you have Ragamuffin in the middle, Bumble, which is the black void, and then Captain, which is the black and white one on the floor. And yes, they don't like me to eat without sharing.
Hi folks, I'm Rachel Kate. I'm originally from the Outer Hebrides, but I've been living in Glasgow. I currently study communication design in Glasgow School of Art, with a specialism in graphics. There's not much to say about my name, other than I've got a very Scottish name as well. MacLeod means son of ugly. There's not really much to add there. Yeah. So like I said, I'm from the Outer Hebrides. I recently changed phone, and the only good picture I had was of these cows I liked in Harris. It's where my dad's side of the family's from. My mum's from Skye, so it's very much part of like my heritage and upbringing. I'm also a Scottish Gaelic speaker, and a lot of like my life was very rural, growing up. And this is some of the work that I've done before. I really like to expand graphic design onto like printed objects and like then photograph them and like focus on surrealism as well, and like I quite like a bit of drama and work and focus on like really strong, powerful colors. So this is a project I did. I've recently become a big collector of like things from back home. So this is a tape of like Gaelic Sam singing, and I just love this cover a lot, and I've got quite a big collection of like cassette tapes and things I've collected over time. So yeah, it's something I've been really influenced by and just like reflecting quite a lot on. So this is some of my record collection of like my Gaelic and Scottish like records that I've collected. So like the bottom one's by Martin Bennett, who's been my biggest influence when it comes to my work, and then above it, and Out with Angus, is my great uncle. So it's like this collection of like things that's like of like storyteller vinyls and things. And recently I've been trying to like progress my work a lot more, so I'm going into 4th year, and like this is some like sketches I've been doing over time where I've been like drawing a lot more, but also like working with typography and trying to like look back into my heritage and things. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Will. I am a multimedia artist from Kent, but I'm usually based in Newcastle. I do this thing called Collective Studio there, which I'll talk about in a sec. As I said, I'm a multimedia artist. My main focuses are cross-disciplinary practice, public-facing artworks, and artistic idea generation. This is an image from the exhibition I had, a group exhibition in March, just before lockdown. In fact, like the weekend before it opened, I did a window display for it. I was commissioned to do this window display, and that's me in it. And it's made of vinyls. The next 2 images are from the same project. So this thing I did a thing called 30 Works, 30 Days, where I had to make a new work every day for the month of April. And I was responding to a brief for those days. And so I decided to make a video for it every day, as I had my iPhone on me and not much else when I was in Newcastle. And that was a day 3 video, and I can't remember what the brief was. And this is something like the day 28 video. And through it, I've made video before, but I haven't really put myself at the center of it. So the idea was to be a bit more comfortable on camera, and I just shared them with friends and stuff, mainly. But it was a good idea of getting ideas out there and testing out ideas. This is something I do. I have done a few times now at the Newbridge Project, where I have a studio and I'm part of an artist group. It's called Crept and Crits. I make crepes. People come and I lead a crit of people's artwork. So it's a good way of getting people together, getting people involved. And this is an image from an exhibition that resonated with me. beginning of the year, Mark Leckey exhibition at Tate Britain. He made a motorway bridge in an exhibition space, and then had a series of 3 videos. And the last video blew my mind. That's why I put it there. And that's everything.
I think that was us. I think that's everybody. Has everybody gone? Please tell me if you haven't been. I know we're missing Juliana, but we can always get Juliana again. Just got to chat up. I'm so sorry, the slides did not change. I'm glad that we rectified that quite quickly, otherwise it could have been a bit of a disaster. Well done. That is not easy, that task, and I think you all did incredibly well, and you spoke really clearly, and I'm so excited for you all. Like, I mean, this team as a whole, the skills that you have here is a dream. I mean, there's such a mixture of creative practices, which is so handy in Modual because it is all hands on deck pretty much. So congrats, like that's a big thing off the checklist, and a really good way to kind of demonstrate your work. It's very humbling, the Pecha Kucha, because you have to kind of just like fit it all in 20 seconds. But I think you all did incredibly well. How was that for you? Does anyone want to just unmute themselves and like reflect back on how that was?
The like 20 seconds ended up feeling so much longer than I thought when I did it. Yeah. Like when you watch it, it's like other people, it's like, okay, yeah, that went by quick. Then when you try and do it yourself, you're like, this is like not much. Like this is too much time.
I agree. And then I think the name is, I've gone off on some dodgy tangents about my name, and it's just sometimes it's really good to be confident to just be like, hi, I'm Rebecca. How you all doing? Like sometimes it's so good to just, it's like, Rebecca, stop. You can stop. You don't have to talk the whole time. So yeah, I think you all did. Anyone else want to just, we've got a bit of time, so anybody else that wants to kind of come forward? Yeah, Will?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was useful that we didn't go off on a tangent. I think I would definitely try and go into much detail about something that maybe wasn't relevant. So it kept it brief and kept it like factual for me. Especially if it's an introduction, like you don't need to give your life story. So just like the main few things, few highlights. Maybe think about what I thought was useful as well for other people to know.
Nice. And good job, Will. I was gonna go through a few things. Yes, you've got it as well. Manoj, please just unmute yourself.
Yeah. So for me, it was the very first time doing this Pecha Kucha, and when I was sharing photographs, I just didn't know how these will be used, and when I looked at the photographs, my first reaction was that, did I really share this photo? I mean, why did I do that? So that was my experience.
No, I think it's good to
overall
have a mixture.
Overall good.
I'm glad, and I
really enjoyed it.
Good. I'm glad, and I think it doesn't matter what you share. Some people like to really focus on work and really articulate that, but sometimes just showing like more personal side of you. That's what this is about, collaboration and trying to like get to know each other as well and on the way. So I really feel like I know you all a bit more, which is really, really nice. As I promised, I said that we were going to just do a couple of bits that might help us communicate better. So I know Fred ran through a few things yesterday, but Will, you'd already smashed it. Like if you want to just talk, just literally just raise your hand, or you can do these reactions, which I know you probably all know already, and I'll just make a note of who wants to chat, so we're not all talking all over each other, because we all need to be heard. And I obviously didn't look at the chat while I was off on my Pecha Kucha, but I will make sure I keep a very close eye on that chat. So if you have any questions or anything, please just use that like you did, the dream team you are. And I guess I've sort of started using the Slack channel, but that is yours now. Like I know it's quite intense when you first come onto Modual, when we're all on the info and there's so much going on, but that is literally for us to be like, morning, how you doing? Like little check-in. And for me to provide you with any like up-to-date information, any updated links, things like that. So yeah, this is our client group, as Fred said, where we'll be dreaming and scheming all of our client briefs. I think that is everything I wanted to say, just kind of like technically. I really want your crepe recipe. That was like, now I'm hungry. And the Mexican food as well. Now I'm starving. We have a little bit of a break. We have a tea break now, which I definitely want to give you because I think Pecha Kuchas is pretty intense. So we are back in the main classroom for 11:20. But if anyone has any questions or just wants to say anything, literally just raise your hand and we can go around, or you can clock off and I will see you back at the classroom. Amazing. Good work. Great. No questions, honestly. Clock off. If you want to stay behind, feel free to stay behind. I'll be here for a couple of minutes before I go get my cup of tea. But I think you all did amazing. So well done. Good job. And I'll see you in a minute.
Okay. Pecha Kuchas. I love a good Pecha Kucha. It's just a nice way. I think it's a great format myself. Obviously, we'll see what you lot think. But hey, Abby, how are you? You all right?
Good. Yeah, I think Pecha Kuchas are like, you know, me and you, Fred, have done Pecha Kuchas many a time. So I think we naturally know how long 20 seconds is now. But it's definitely too long and too little all at the same time.
No, you're absolutely right. It's bizarre. Again, like time gets stretched in this workshop. It's bizarre how long 20 seconds can be when you've got nothing to say, and how short it can be when you've got lots to say. But yeah, again, hear from you guys if you want to share in the Slack channel how that experience was for you. I know that there were some tech issues with some of you. Yeah, apologies for that, but again, it's one of those things where there will be problems with this, and it's just about how quickly those problems get sorted. And hopefully, I mean, I know I saw the team all on it. If by some chance you didn't get the chance to finish your Pecha Kucha, don't worry, we've got a bit of free, there's more flexible space later on today, so you can finish it all off then, don't worry about it. And yeah, I think from what I saw, just dipping in and out a little bit, it looked like there were some really interesting things happening and some really good conversations happening. But yeah, if you would like to share about your Pecha Kucha, now is the time. How was that? More about how was the experience? Was it nice to meet each other? Did you get a sense of the team that you're in? Obviously, this is just your client team. But if anybody would like to share in the sharing channel on Slack about how that was, we would love to hear from you. And I see that we have some sharing, and it is from Abby saying, how was the Pecha Kucha for you? There we go, the Slack lag, never mind. Yeah, so yeah, if anyone wants to share, that'd be great. As I say, I did it live once. I did it with the people that invented it in Tokyo, and it was just a very young concept. This is about 10 years ago. And you can see a room of kind of really kind of high-powered people being very surprised when they didn't have control of their slides. Okay, what? You want me to shut up now? About? It's very funny. Yes, so Muskan is saying definitely a fun way to briefly get to know the people in our team. Thank you, Muskan. Yeah, that's the point. It's not meant to be a mega intro. You're going to get to know them a lot more over the course of this workshop, but it's just a kind of quick hi. So thank you, Muskan. Much appreciated. Rachel felt confident at the start, but when I did it, it ended up being a lot harder, way harder than expected. It does put you on the spot a little bit, doesn't it, Pecha Kucha? It's kind of like, pow, you're on. But, you know, just sharing it amongst, you know, your peers and your friends. Obviously, there is a pitch element to this workshop where we're taking you through a process where you can get more and more confident in that space, because on Thursday the 23rd, we're going to be asking some of you, representatives for your projects, to pitch. So yeah, that will be happening. What have you got, Abby?
I've got Alex T, and who I know Alex hasn't managed to get their Pecha Kucha done yet, but they've said that they loved it anyway, which is cool. And Divya also said it was great. And Laura, I think we can all empathise with this, said that she forgot to press start on the timer as she started it, which, yes, I've done that many a time. In fact, already during this workshop, during an exercise, I forgot to press start, and I had to guess whether it had been 3 minutes or not.
No, I didn't spot that at all, Abby. You were slick, so you know what 3 minutes is, clearly.
But if you don't tell anyone, no one knows, I think, at that point. And Olivia said, I think it would be cool if someone could be in charge of sharing it, but either way, I think you can kind of get the gist if you've got a good stopwatch with you. So.
Absolutely. Nice one. Jay says, never boring. Thank you. Great insights. Shima, got to know and how different people communicate with pictures, which I think is a really good point. And we're going to talk a bit more about kind of visual kind of communication in a moment. Rosie thought it was less stressful than presenting in person, and having less time to prepare made it way more relaxed too. Yeah, this is just a kind of just casual share. Joanna found it a bit anxiety inducing, but she met a wonderful group of women, so that's fantastic. And Medina, getting to get acquainted with people from different backgrounds. Davika, again, everyone used such different 5 pictures, so many different, I think it's approached in a slightly different way. You saw me and Abby's approaches, but then you've seen each other's approaches, so it can happen any other way. And Cassia is saying it was an interesting thing to organise information about yourself in such a way, especially for people who don't know you at all. Yeah, it's an introduction basically, and yeah, it's a bit like thinking about your elevator pitch when you're in the lift with Beyonce or Bill Gates. Yeah, it's like, how do you sum yourself up in this 2 minutes? Any more from you, Abby?
Yeah, we've got a couple more still coming in. Haya said that they felt like I was racing through the time and had to speed talk through it, but it was fun. So I think, yeah, it kind of, the first slide is always the most difficult one, because that's when you kind of get the gist of the 20 seconds, and then you have to pick and choose what you may have already thought about to say to shove into that smaller amount of time. And Lakshmi says, great to know the people from various geographies. Yeah, I think it's really cool as an intro to kind of find out where everyone's from and, you know, yeah, what they find interesting about that and what they want to share. So thanks, guys. Appreciate the sharing.
Yeah, thanks. And we're going to move on now, I think. But yeah, keep them coming, and I'm sure you can. It's all useful for everybody on the channel. I'm just going to say, I can't resist it. Manoj is saying, always been a fan of the Pecha Kuchas without knowing what it was.
This conference is being recorded.
Thank you. And Ellie is regretting her photo choices about walking her dog being the half of what if she was occupied with. If it's real, it's real. Don't worry about it, Ellie. It's all good. And Will says the images kept me focused and succinct. Exactly, it keeps you to the point. Right, I think we should move on now. And again, apologies if you had tech issues there, and if there was if it was a bumpy start. But the good news is that we're in these groups now for the next 2 days, so that should be it should be from hearing. And as I always say, I keep saying, you know, it's not. There will be problems. This is a new thing that we're doing, and so you'll initially all these kind of things feel a little bit bumpy, but then once you got it, I'm telling you, by tomorrow you'll just be going biff boff in and out of groups and stuff, and it'll be fine. So this is the process of learning. It's a bit like going out of your comfort zone a little bit. So don't be discouraged, please. And it's great that you're sticking with it. Thank you for that. Okay, let's do another exercise. All right, this is an exercise called social dreaming. And we're going to do this all together in this Zoom call. We're actually in 2 separate Zoom calls because there's so many of you. But we're going to do it all together right here in the moment. And this is something you're going to need a pen and you're going to need paper for. And the way it's going to go is this. I'm just going to talk you through what's called a guided visualization. I just want to kind of log that this process came from, I mean, there's many different versions of it, but the version that I'm kind of using is from a woman called Robinson, who is just, and I'll put the link on Slack later on. It's a woman called Cassie Robinson, who just did it for the Scottish government. So this may feel a bit more esoteric, but it actually is very mainstream now, and the research is saying this is a very good thing to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through a guided visualization. And I'm going to talk for like 5-10 minutes. At the end of that time, I'm going to ask you, well, actually, just make sure you've got your pen and paper handy, and I'll tell you what happens at that point there. So I'm just going to go for it. So all you have to do now is make sure you're sitting in a space where you feel grounded, where you feel settled. Try and get comfortable. I would advise possibly putting your feet on the floor. I'm going to turn off my camera, because I'd also like you to close your eyes if that's okay. Yeah, just get comfy, and I will talk you through this. And then at the end, I'm going to ask you to do something with your pen and paper, unsurprisingly. So here we go. Okay, so we're all sitting. Just take, maybe everyone, let's just take a breath. And then just let your body settle. And I'm going to ask us all to go on a journey. We're going to travel in our imaginations to the year 2030, which is 10 years from now. So with your eyes shut, imagine that 2030, in the 10 years between now and then, that all the things that we hoped for in 2020, thought, oh, it'd be amazing if that could happen. All the doomsayers and the naysayers, they were wrong. There was a sea change. There was a real shift in how human beings approach things. And you were part of that change. And suddenly society moved into a much more positive and remarkable place. And it's been a time that everyone's been so enthusiastic about, and kind of people will sing songs about in the future, because it was just a time like the Renaissance, or, I mean, that's a bad example, forgive me, but a time when people just came together and said, we can do this, we can fix these problems, we're going to make change happen. And people got on board. And again, you were all part of this. You all stepped into that space, and to your joy and delight, so many great things happened. Things just started unfolding. There was a domino effect. And all of the concerns about climate and protest and justice, community empowerment, it just kind of unfolded in a beautiful way all across the world. And this was from government, but it was also from the people, it was from communities, it was from education, from business. There was a hunger for it. People said, no more change, we want to make this right. And people came together, and they really made it happen. So remarkable 10 years. So just now, with your eyes shut, please, just take a walk down the street where you live right now and see the change. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? Different people feel and experience the world in different ways, and their imagination flows in different ways. So anything you can pick up there, what do you see? How do people look? What's their attitude? What's going on with the infrastructure where you live? The shops, the businesses, the opens, the community spaces. When you go to work, how does that feel? What do you feel when you go in there? What do you see that's different? How has this place changed? How are the communal spaces? How are the public spaces? What do you see at the weekend? What are people doing with their leisure time? What are their work time? How has this been integrated? Where have we arrived? How do we get there? No, don't worry about the how do we get there, sorry, but do just think about the place and just try and feel it, whether it's from images or sounds or smells or any emotion, anything you like. Okay. Thank you for coming on that journey. So just stay with that, stay still. And now what I'd like you to do is just open your eyes and take your pen and just put whatever you want on the paper that represents that place. Try and describe it, try and capture it. If it's a drawing, that's great. If it's words, that's great as well. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be really simple. And I'm going to give you 3 or 4 minutes just to put what you saw in your mind on paper in front of you. So I'm going to play a bit of music, and in 3 or 4 minutes, we're going to move to the next stage. All right, here we go. Okay, that's 4 minutes, so we'll wrap it up there. And what I'd like to invite you to do now, and I will now turn on my camera, is to go back into your groups and share what you've drawn or what you've written with each other. And we don't want to take a huge amount of time on this, but if you had like a minute or two, let's say a minute, and if you need to go a little bit further, that's fine. But if you could just take a minute or two to each share your pictures, and just again, you don't have to scan it, you can just hold it up to the screen. That's absolutely fine. Show everybody your picture and just say what you saw in that exercise. So I think that is hopefully pretty clear. Anything to add, Abby, on that one? You think I got it?
No, yeah, I think just don't be too afraid to show what you got. We're all different skills of drawing here, so don't worry about the techniques of others. But yeah, just feel it. I just did, for sure.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, maybe we'll see yours when we get back. I didn't like to do the talk, but yeah, exactly. What Abby said is a great point. This is not a drawing skill exercise. This is letting it all out on the page. So don't be shy about your doodles or whatever. In fact, doodles are great, I think. They just let you off the hook. You don't have to make it look nice. Great. Okay, if you could go and do that, and we will. Hang on a second. I've got a question here. Just double check that's not something important. Okay, Medina will come to you in a moment, but in the meantime, I think, yeah, off you go back to your client rooms, and if everybody shares what they drew, that would be fantastic. And we'll see you back here. Let's come back with 12, and if you finish early, just again, get up, walk around. I'll see you back in here at 12, and we've got one more thing to do before lunch. All righty, folks. See you.
That was really nice. I have a little register here, so I think it's probably best if I go through this so that you can show your drawings. So I've got on my list to begin with, Ailey, if you're happy to show us your drawing and talk us through it, and literally 30 seconds.
I actually didn't do a drawing. I just wrote out because I ran out of time. I ended up writing it out and then I was going to draw it.
Yeah, go for it. That's fine.
But I just wrote, I would like to see more communal or green space where people can lounge and it's free. I think especially in Glasgow, there's a lot of urban space and there's not a lot of space where you can just pause and chill. It's just more sort of grid streets. And then no littering, and then I said no littering, especially on exits of motorways or dual carriageways, because that makes me so annoyed when there's like a bit of bush that everyone just chucks stuff into. And then more like social things, I said equal rights between women and men, as well as equality within the genders. I said better public understanding of mental illness and addiction, and just more empathy and patience with people. I didn't draw anything.
That's okay. Maybe you could get a drawing in the next tea break or something, just so you've got it and you've got you can map out your module journey. That would be quite nice. But yeah, thank you for sharing. The next person I've got is Helena. Let's have a look.
This is my drawing. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, I can.
Is it pixelated? We're not very good at sketching.
But this is great. Just for everyone, if you want to see it bigger, you can just change the gallery view. So it's just the speaker view, and you'll be able to see like the whole screen. So you can see this amazing drawing. So yeah, go for it, Helena.
I guess I was just trying to like jot down a sort of nice, airy, sunny feeling. I think I've personally noticed like a lot of like crime rates going up since lockdown, because I think people are under pressure. So I think I would want it to feel really safe and that you can trust everyone that you're around. So I tried to get like a lot of families, a lot of social gatherings, everyone sort of like being respectful of each other, but still being able to have lots of fun. So there's a little gathering happening here. And I quite like the idea of like more old style like shops where they can sell things at the front and like creating little communities there. And then there's the city in the distance, but it's nice and sunny and not polluted. That's it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Helena. Chang? Chang, you're drawing up? Amazing, okay. Thank you.
Okay, let me show you my picture. Can you see it? Okay, in my imaginary, I think in the future, our people have their right to choose their lifestyle, and maybe in front of me, we can see some big mountain and rivers, but in my back, we can see high buildings and some feel very technology and science. And at the same time, the street vendors and the fancy restaurant can exist at the same time, because everyone has the power to choose what they want to live and without discrimination. And I think in the future, maybe there will be more fun and more science development. So I want to have a roller coaster across a mountain and choose a high building. That will be great, funny. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing, thank you so much. That looks so fun. Like elements of fun and bringing so many different, angry drivers outside. Really great. How different between Helena and yours. Like, I love that. Such a good, this is the first, this is the first time we've seen this exercise. Like, we've come out into smaller groups to look at everyone's drawing. So I'm really glad we've done it. Thank you so much. Ella, you are up next.
So I didn't do a drawing either, but I wrote some things down, and I was picturing a place where you're walking down the street and you can hear like the birds, and everyone was sitting outside cafes and it was really bustling, and lots of different types of people interacting, and I think I had this idea of like everyone but like supporting their local community, buying from their local shops, and supporting like the local businesses. Yeah, that's sort of a bit like what Helena's looked like. That's sort of the place that I envisioned as well. Yeah,
really good. Thank you for sharing. I think that's what's probably, there might be a bit of a common theme there, is that, you know, with lockdown and the restrictions that we've had, it's the things that we had before that you just kind of want back, like those moments where, as you say, you can kind of shop local and support your local businesses. I think that's been the hardest thing. I've got this coffee shop down the road, and they just had to completely shut, and they do like wine nights and live music and stuff like that, and it's just like what I would give to just have that like moment again and go to that place. So I think pre-lockdown, I think all of our drawings would look very, very different, whereas it's kind of like, oh, I just want the simple things. Thank you for sharing. Really, really close attention to detail there, which is great. Iona, You are up.
Here is my drawing. It's on the back of some other paper, so I don't know if you can see very well, but so I was kind of thinking about like, yeah, local food production and food security and kind of like biotechnology and citizen science and kind of like reed beds and sort of everything's connected. Thinking about kind of like distributed networks and things so that this kind of local community is also connected to other ones. Yeah.
Amazing, thank you. I love like the interconnection. I think that was really nice. Like the journey, almost I can see how the visualization, like you went on this kind of journey as well. That's really cool. Thank you so much, Iona. Michelle, how are you doing? You got your drawing?
Yeah, I actually wrote stuff down because I'm not
very
good at drawing.
Sounds great.
But it was actually, I think there's a similar thing. It was like open spaces and lots of nature, and because I quite like trees and plants, so it was just kind of that area.
Yeah, nice. I think that's the common theme throughout all of us. I was in the mountains as well. Like I just was like, I just want everyone to be able to go on one huge hike and like get out and be in open spaces and
get out of the house,
get away from the screen, no TV screens. Thank you so much, Michelle. Katerina? Oh, I think you might be on mute. I don't think it's unmuted you. No worries, no worries. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, we got you.
Weird. So mine kind of went in two different directions. The first one I kind of drew in being the whole like nature situation. And my drawings are really poor, so I'm sorry. But those are floating gardens on like rivers. I just imagine a better use of public spaces that can kind of relieve the stress that we put on nature. I put smells better, and I put people want to go out and not just like transition through these spaces. They actually want to spend time. I also wrote down organisms that clean air in places like the underground. I wrote down algae, maybe, I don't know. And then the other direction I was thinking of is the union of communities that have either previously been split or just like politically find themselves in issues. And then with that, the sharing of resources. The Global South has a lot of innovations that have like dealing with the issues they have, and the Global North has a lot of the logistics potential. So kind of bringing those resources together for a more cohesive planet, I guess.
Nice. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing and taking a stab at the drawing. I think your drawings are great. Don't put yourself down. It was you literally had like no time, so you did smashing. Well done. Ingrid?
There aren't any cars, maybe just a few also, and with some deals, but a lot of people just walking. There aren't big roads or high streets. This area just for people, for walking, for gardening, for playing some music, giving free lectures from community that can share the experience in different areas. And the smell, of course, are really fresh, and we can smell flowers and trees. And people also are not rushing, and the plane are not allowed to fly under the city, and helicopters also.
Yeah.
Nice, Elena. Get rid of all, no flying over the city. That's a nice idea. That's a dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice one. Natalie, do you want to
So,
share with us?
sure, I just wrote because I'm a really bad drawer, but I was thinking of like a smart city in communion with nature. So there would be like gardens everywhere. And also there would be like rooftop agriculture. So you could cultivate your own plants with like aquaponic systems or permaculture. And then there would be like smart, eco-friendly houses or like co-working spaces, I guess. And as well, there would be no cars. But at that time, I was thinking maybe like teleportation would be fun. But that's kind of very future thinking, and lots of bikes and other systems of like transportation. That's what I thought.
Wicked, Natalie. Yeah, I was thinking like super speculative as well as you. I was like, why not? Yeah, why can't we just teleport and stuff? But you know, we'll get there eventually. Right, who hasn't been? Have I missed anyone? Oh, there we go. Safa, do you want to show us what you've done?
I did a little sketch, like two people sitting on top of the sea, and one of them is doing meditation or sitting relaxed, and the other is relaxed, but he's upside down. And I just wanted to say that two people are different, but are able to live in the same place. And I wrote a small thing. I wrote all people from different backgrounds come together in one place where there is a fresh air and local food, and everyone can feel welcomed and safe.
Wicked. I'm starting to see a reoccurring theme. I'm loving this. We're already a team. Yeah, there's like unity within diversity. Love it. He. I've got your name wrong again, haven't I? I apologize. Yes, please.
Oh, Hui.
Hui.
Okay. Yeah, I think we all have a very similar idea. Mine's this. I don't have a green pen, so I use red. So sort of, I was thinking that the economy sort of collapsed. So everyone got into a mental breakdown. And during this time, like the plants took over. So it's like a jungle city now. And like there's a lot of like very different architectures, like the buildings and like their tents. And like after people like got back to their own self, they sort of all turned a bit crazy. So they decided not to care about things like money and food and just be themselves. So they're like crawling around. Some are mermaids, some are mutants. Yeah, and I guess that's a very nice place. And on top of that, like UFO started visiting us. So they're aliens too.
Yes, nice one. That looks wicked. KN.
Yes.
Have you drawn anything? Have you wrote anything?
I've written like a few lists, and what I thought of is quite surreal. Actually, it's not like reality, but I just jot down like empty and silence, and in my imagination, I couldn't actually see anyone on the street, but like I feel like there's people somewhere, and I feel like it's also cold as well. And I wrote down like something like digital and maybe like technology as well. And I also wrote down Kraftwerk. I don't know if anyone knows Kraftwerk. It's like a German like music band. Yeah. So like something like that.
Yes, love it. Love it. Speculative, but achievable. That's great. Who's left? Let's have a look. Is that everyone, or have I missed someone? I think we've done it. Nice one, guys. Well, what can I say? It looks like we've already got like a reoccurring theme going on. And is that a coincidence, or is that, made? I'm not sure. Yeah, that's sick. I love it. Okay. Do you think it'd be possible to everyone hold up their piece of paper in front of the camera so I can get a picture? I want to make like a landscape. Yeah, guys. 1 sec. Yes, please. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Booyah.
Yes, guys. It's like a landscape of paper. Cool. Looks like we've got 5 minutes or so until we could, you know, go back into the main room. So if you have any questions, yes, Yashvi.
I just wanted to say is how amazing is this thing is that everyone was visualizing the same thing. In the end, everyone just wants nature, peace, happy people. I was just amazed by that, so I thought I should share.
Thank you, Yashvi. Yeah, this is the dream team. I'm telling you that for free. I can see it already. We have such a strong passion in like environment. I'm going to say environment and space and well-being. You know, we've kind of curated some groups, but this group, you know, I'm loving where we're going with this. It's really, really cool. So well done, guys. I think you should all go and take a break. Oh, Rosie, what do you want to say?
Sorry, I just wanted to add quickly that it feels like a lot of the stuff that we're saying, obviously not including the technology, but like everything calming down, less cars, it almost feels like going back in time, like to before just this kind of huge boom and rushing around and like having to work like ridiculous hours and not earning much money. And it's kind of like, it's almost like people want to go back, but then have the technology to enhance it. That makes sense?
Yeah, definitely. Primitive technologies. Yeah, definitely. And that whole cycle thing as well. Maybe we do want to go back. Everything's in one big loop. So yeah, cool. Loving it. Go and take a break, guys. I want you to go and get off and like walk around or something. I hate like sitting down. I can't sit still, so I need to have a break as well. Good job. I'll see you in a bit. Smashed it. Ciao, ciao.
Okay, nearly there. 59. Oh, and I think I've got an high-pitched wheel. Let's get rid of that. Off. Yes, I do indeed have a squeal. Apologies. Hey, Abby, how's it going? Squeal.
Very good, very good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Did you say you drew something?
I did, yeah. Both me and my partner did it at the exact same time. So I'll show you mine and then I'll show you his and tell you how weird this is.
Okay.
This is my one, which has got
Sorry.
Some more public sculptures and people being inspired by public art. Less cars or no cars at all. More greenery, kind of interesting modernist housing solutions.
Nice.
People being all happy. And then this was slightly more personal of like what I would like my studio to be. So more people, like I'd love for there to be more of us in our studio. And I don't even know if I'm any one of those people or whether there's other people running it. But yeah, that's mine. And then this is super weird. This is my partner's, who's got public sculpture, almost identical looking houses, like bicycles and no cars and like public transport, greenery. And then he said about green industry. So yeah, really, really fantastic exercise. And definitely, I think I'm probably not the only one that's had a really common vision with other people in their groups as well. So.
Yeah, I think that's very possibly the case. Well, let's find out. You know how we roll, peeps. Could you share with us? How is it been? And again, apologies if you didn't get a chance to completely finish that, but we'll give you a bit more free form stuff later on. There's only kind of really one more task we need to do before lunch. But yeah, we'd love to know how that was for you. And I've already got something from Yukta. Thank you. So pleasing to see that all of us wanted a world that promotes communal living and building a sustainable environment. Yeah, I think I'll just speak to what Abby also showed, is that it's weird how these things come out of the ether and it's all common. The similarity thing is not a fluke, I'm telling you, and you may have experienced it in your groups, that the kind of these ideas are waiting to be born and then suddenly there's a moment and they can come out. So yeah, the commonality is, as I say, a regular thing. So I'm glad it was in your group. So thank you. Cool. Anything your end?
Yeah, I think we've got a couple of people sharing their drawings in the sharing channel. So please, if you've got the time now, or if you want to have a go at lunch, we'd all love to see your drawings. But yeah, even I can see in Gabby's drawing, she's got living roof, which Harry's got that in his drawing, is kind of like rooftop gardens and sustainable, kind of thinking communities. So, Alex Tian has also got a very, very interesting abstract drawing that I'd love to know more about, as well as Lucy Orr, a lot of kind of like visual representations that I'm sure we'd love to hear a bit more about.
And I've got one from Leda here. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We're talking about basic universal income and free movement of people, and really visualizing that as well. One of the reasons why we wanted to do this exercise is because, as I said at the beginning of it, words are great, but just a doodle can also, picture can say 1,000 words, as they say. So it's just nice to give I know we've got a lot of skilled drawers, and indeed not skilled drawers. I am not very good at drawing, I'm telling you, for free. But yeah, I get stuck in and it's great. Iona's got something here, which again, wow, there is a lot of similarity between Iona and what you were drawing over here, interestingly. I'm seeing, yeah, it's more farmy, isn't it? It looks great, man. I want to go there. Let's all go there. Sounds good. Looks good. Great. Okay. Please continue to share and stick your pictures up on the Slack. We'd love to see them all, and you can all have a good look at them as well. But I mean, the main purpose there was for you to share with your group, obviously. Thank you, Sherry, for sharing that, which I'm going to look at all of these afterwards. That looks great. Big double page spread. And yeah, where are the commonalities? Where are we kind of feeling similar about stuff? And where do we think we can go with that? So I am now going to introduce this exercise, but I want to just pause and say, I'm aware that for some of you, especially the ones where we had a little trouble getting you started, that you might be running at a different time scale from the main group, and you might need to take a break. So you can do that at any point after this. Just if you feel like this is all going too fast, between now and the talk is much more flexible. It's a much more flexible time. So if you get back in your group and you all look at each other and you say, you know what, I'm fried. Let's take a 5-minute break. Do it. Okay, because you don't need to complete the next task that me and Abby are going to show you until tomorrow. Basically, it's going to be the whole of today. We're going to do one more exercise in the afternoon, but basically, this task is the rest of the day and a bit of tomorrow. So you do be flexible, do self-monitor. You know, we've been pretty strict on the schedule up till now, and saying, you know, take a break, but make sure you're watching yourself, self-care, because that's where you ingrain those habits. So let's talk about brainstorming. I think this probably requires some slides, so I'm going to go for it. Here we go. So what we're doing now is we are that's a slide saying social dreaming, that's a slide saying social dreaming on Slack, please. We're going to brainstorm. Okay, so this is a classic term, and it's all about generating a whole bunch of ideas, and we're going to do this on Post-it notes, on virtual Post-it notes in a software platform called Miro. And there's a way to brainstorm, there's a kind of consensus as to how the best way to do it. And that is starting off with 5 minutes just solo time, a bit like you did with the drawing. So, and I'm sure you've got loads of ideas already. You've got the idea from yesterday, the idea from the exercise about what would you create to make the world a better place if you knew you couldn't fail. You've got all the ideas that might have come out of that exercise, the social dreaming exercise that you just did with the drawing. So 5 minutes, make a list of all your ideas. Just take 5 minutes to do that. And if anything else comes up, that's great. And if at any point during the day you're on your own, you get another idea, write it down. Tonight, if you get another idea, write it down. That's great. And then the next part of the brainstorming, you need to go around in order, just like you've been doing so far, and share your ideas, because it's really important that you explain them to the rest of the group and they understand. And spoiler alert, the reason for that is because we're going to choose some of these, not today, not tomorrow. Actually, we might just start choosing them tomorrow, later on tomorrow. But at some point, we're going to get all these fantastic ideas and we're going to choose some more to develop. So it's important that you express your idea to everybody else in the group. So go around in order, read out your ideas one at a time would be my advice. I'd say, so one person reads one of their ideas on their list, the next person reads one of their ideas on their list, the next person reads one of their ideas on their list. And yeah, you can start with the one from yesterday if you like. So we are shortly going to introduce you to Miro, and the idea is that you put each idea on a Post-it note and stick it on a virtual wall in Miro. Miro is a whiteboarding software for collaboration, and we think it's great. It's also free to use it's got a free option, which is actually quite good. You don't have to use Miro for the rest of your life. I'm not saying, you know, I care about whether you adopt it, but for this process, we're going to use it. And of course, as always, we are here to help you if you need some help. So, you know, this is going to be a very managed process. We're going to get you into Miro slowly but surely, and we'll make sure you know what you're doing, and then you'll be able to play with it. So here is the goal, is to get one idea. Here's an idea somebody had about using unused playing fields for communal veg planting and flower growing. It's a great idea. I read those words, I understand the idea. Maybe we've spoken about it a bit as well, but that is the goal there, because then everybody can look at that Post-it note and see my idea and understand it. So that's the first thing to do. And I'm just going to stop there, and I'm going to stop sharing and just pass it over to you, Abby, and because you are we call you Abby Queen of Miro in Modual, because she is you've really mastered that thing, haven't you? So yeah, you definitely have. I'm going to hand over to you to just talk through Miro a little bit.
Brilliant. I'm just going to share my board. So what you should see now is a board that says Modual Open Futures and a couple of dots and some information. So this is what Miro looks like. This is what you'll get sent. It will either look like this or it will look like this. So slightly different coloured dots. So don't worry too much about it. And I'm going to take you through how you brainstorm. Quick tip, if you want to learn a little bit about it, up here on the top right, we have a bunch of little prompts and things that can kind of help you with your mood boarding and your brainstorming. And if you ever need to get in contact with me, there's a little chat button at the bottom left corner. So if you're stuck or you can't kind of manage to get the post-it note to work, please feel free to @ me on there and I will come and help you. So let's go through this. Let's say I'm in red group. So here's my button for red group for brainstorming. I click on this little arrow that's at the top right of it, and it will drag me over to the brainstorming area. Now all you guys will have this set up exactly the same. You've got a bunch of post-it notes ready for you. So all you want to do with the post-it note is, great, I've got an idea, I've already thought of it, I'm going to zoom into the post-it note and I'm going to double click on the post-it note, and it should come up with all these options up here and a little line in the middle. And let's say my idea is affordable modernist housing for all. And I click off of it and there you go, there's the post-it note. And you can click and drag it around and just chuck it onto the board anywhere you want. If you want to, for the first part of the brainstorming, and you want to kind of grab some for yourself, you can highlight a bunch of these post-it notes and you can copy and paste them somewhere on the board, and you can kind of do your own notes here if you want to do that in here, or you can do that on paper or on the notes app or whatever you fancy. And yeah, all these post-it notes can just be Command-C or Control-C and Command-V and copied to made more and more. If you ever lose any of these or something accidentally gets deleted, the sticky note button is on the far left as well, with the little kind of corner hanging up. And you can do it here. And if you're feeling fancy, there's actually a bulk mode as well, where you can put in multiple ideas at once. Idea 1, idea 2, and press done, and it will make them for you. So that's about it. But yeah, please shout us if you want help with it. It's a slightly clunky software sometimes. I think I always liken it to something like PowerPoint, where sometimes you'll click on it and it won't work. But just, yeah, send me a chat message if you're struggling with it and we'll get this sorted. I think that's about it.
Great. So we're going to post an invite in Slack, is that right, for each group?
Yeah, so your pod leaders should be sending you an invite right now to your specific Moreau page. Yeah, the module staff will tell you exactly where it is, and you just click on the link and get there. And when you get there, there's a bit where you kind of see everybody running around, aren't there? You get little arrows. Why don't you share your screen again, and I'll go to your. Is there a link to your Miro? Yeah, I'll share. Let's. Oh, that's me doing something else. I am on Moreau board A at the moment.
Okay, and sorry, putting you on the spot slightly here. Apologies, but where do I find the link to that?
So you should be sent a link. All the students will have a link. Well, I see lots of names already.
There we go. This is the point I'm trying to make here. Look at those people there. Let's not worry about me, but already a bunch of people jumping in there and looking for their board. So you don't need to share a screen necessarily here. You just go in it yourself, don't you? So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, you should be able to see what everyone else is up to whilst you're here as well. But again, please shout if you struggle with that at all.
Right, lovely. All right, so I'm hoping that's clear. And again, we've got a bit of time now. As I say, the brainstorming is all you have to do for the rest of the day, is to get your ideas up on that wall with the rest of the team, rest of your group rather, understanding what they are. That's all we're going to do for the rest of the day. So if you're feeling frazzled, do take a break. There's plenty of time for you to go off, have a little walk, write some ideas down, or if you haven't finished your Pecha Kucha or your drawing sharing, you could do that now or whatever. But we've got the whole of the afternoon. We've got another talk at 3:40, so you've got 3.5 hours. Get some lunch as well, and there is an exercise at 2 o'clock. But basically, once we've got you in Miro, you can do what you like, and just brainstorming is the goal. I should probably mention the prizes, shouldn't I? I'm going to mention the prizes. Yeah. So there will be a prize for the group with the most ideas, and there will be a prize for the group with the most weight ideas. Idea 1, sorry. And the reason is there's a famous exercise that a Harvard professor did with his pottery class. It's in Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, I think. where he split the class into two halves, and he said to one half, just make one pot this term. All you got to do is make one pot. And he said to the other half, make as many pots as you can. All you got to do is quantity, and I won't judge them at all. So the first half was making one brilliantly perfect pot. They worked all semester, all term on it, and the other half were just churning out the pots, just pot. And at the end of the term, they put all the pots from both halves on display, and the best pots came from the second half, not the first half. So we're looking for lots of ideas, and as clear as you can. Now, I will also say that at some point these ideas will have to come down to land. And at some point we're going to be looking at what you actually can do to develop projects further. I'm going to encourage you to keep dreaming, but at some point, maybe later today, I'll talk about it again after lunch, but just start thinking about actually what is the stuff that I really want to make. But you'll find that those really ambitious kind of design future speculative thinking projects, they often just trickle back down and they go, well, it would be amazing if we all had, spaceships, but what about if we make a fleet of buses instead? I don't know, that's a terrible example, but that's my attempt to suggest that you keep dreaming big for the moment before the structural diamond comes down to squash it. Okay, anything I've forgotten that occurs to you? Okay, looks like we're good. Have you got any questions? I'm sorry, have we gone?
No, that's exactly what I was going to say.
If you've got any questions, just stick them in the question. And obviously, you have your module staff to help you out. But that's kind of it from us. We'll see you at 2 o'clock after lunch. Me and Abby will be here at 2 o'clock. We've got one more little exercise to do with you, which is fun. It's a fun one. I won't spoil the surprise. You can come and check it out then. But yeah, in the meantime, talk to your module staff, people, if you've got any issues, and we'll see you back here at 2. Take a break. Take a lunch break. It's important stuff. Don't get too sucked into this, because as soon as you walk away, you'll get better ideas. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's the plot. Get used to Miro. Write down your ideas. Share them one at a time. Put them on the board. Go do it.
Feel free to talk amongst yourselves in the breakout rooms. I think it's quite nice to like bounce ideas off each other. We're gonna win. I'm sorry, but we are, because we're the best. I think, what was the funniest? I think the funniest idea I've ever had was like, and it wasn't my idea. It was on my module. There was like I think it won craziest idea because it was insane. She was like, I think for like single parents, we should have like massive baby suits where you put your baby in and like you can roll them. And I was like, what? She was like, and you can also play sports. And I was like, okay. Anybody like want to share their ideas over the chat? I would honestly really encourage a dialogue because I just think it's funner that way. Let me have a look at the Miro board. What have we got so far? Large vacuum to suck out all of the CO2. I like it. Technology could share the smell. Oh, I like that because sometimes I watch MasterChef and get like really, really hungry, and I'm a bit jelly of Greg Wallace and the fact that he gets to like eat all that food. Have a look. Stories and fact play on loudspeakers down every road. Ah, yes. A guide for reducing digital miscommunication. Right, this needs to happen because I think the amount of accidentally Larry texts I've sent people where it's like, no, I'm not annoyed. I just what else? affordable housing for all. I remember someone, like I was talking to someone from like Clapham, and I was like, what would you define as affordable housing? And he looked at me and he was like, oh, like 600 like a month. And I was like, oh my God, Clapham. I was like, that's not affordable. That's
Design opened.
illustrated law. Ooh. The other thing is I can also like spy on the other teams, which I quite like. You know what? We're already doing way better than red team. And orange. I can't see blue and purple though. They're on a different Miro board. I'm gonna pick on someone. Okay, Misty, off the top of your head, wildest idea. What would it be? Go now. You're on mute.
I came up with putting like colorful dye in cars, so then you can see like how polluting they are. So you just have like these like colorful fumes.
Amazing.
Like stuff.
Gonna pick on other random people. Meg, random idea. Don't even think about it. First words that come to your head. Go. Mute. You're on mute. Still on mute.
So yeah, I really want to make a long distance hovercraft, which will stop people doing like short haul plane journeys. Yeah.
Might play some
stick them on one by one, just whatever you want. Just start writing post-it notes, put them onto the board. We'll come up with as many as we can. So get writing on the post-it notes, all your ideas. Go wild. Okay, right. Change of plan. Right. I'm getting some notes through. Okay, so I'm going to go through. Okay. Safa, the link is here. I'll put it into the chat. So Safa, on the purple group, that's the link there. I've just sent it in now. Okay. So we're going to go just round each other's ideas. So turn your mics on. Well, I'll call you out, and we can you can tell me your ideas. So Amy, if you want to start with you. Are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Go. So
What, do I tell you all of them or just one?
just start writing down on Miro, but we want to discuss as well. So
Okay, so I've
tell
written.
everyone your idea.
So my first one is sustainable Amazon. So it's like a big database of like where you can just basically type in what you want and it gives you sustainable products and alternatives to that, to what you want basically.
Okay.
And then I also put like solar powered airplanes or like
Nice.
some kind of sustainably powered airplanes. And the other one I've also written already is the accessible travel programs for school leavers, so they can like go and volunteer abroad when they finish school,
Cool.
and it makes it more accessible.
Nice. Ashima, what's your ideas? Let us know. Make sure every idea you've got, write down into the Miro. So when you're talking to me, also sticking them on the Miro board. Yeah, so we have them all ready there.
So, my idea was to develop solutions for promoting community eating platforms with diverse cuisines based on shared knowledge and responsibility. This was I've shared it in Slack also. The second was to create ways by which people can get into declutter mode by redesigning or relocating available resources. The third one was to devise a system based on an open and free learning education or life skill for children. The fourth one was to create an ease out zones where people can experience social connect based on shared understanding and for mental well-being.
Cool. Right, so make sure keep writing your ideas down. Grace, what ideas you got?
What were mine? One of mine was universal basic income, which is already like a thing that people want. It's not very design based. It's just a thing that would maybe help people in their lives. I also put down, this is a bit crazy, but intertidal housing or architecture, like using sea space as like a, because people always complain that people are homeless because there is no space for new housing, but there is ways that we can use space that has not been already used to create housing. Also, what did I say? Like a kind of more interdisciplinary learning-based curriculum in high schools and primary that combines subjects in like modules rather than have them so separate all the time. And similarly, like some kind of arts education module or residency that could support people coming out of uni in the creative industries and going into like actual jobs. I feel like that's a area where it's quite uncertain and there's not really much like kind of support for people who are like 25 to 35, I feel like. So yeah,
Yeah. Nice. Cool. Keep, everyone just keep writing your ideas, thinking of ideas, whatever you got, write it down. Ollie, what have you got?
All right, sorry. Okay. So I think the first thing, so basically most of mine are like pretty speculative. But I think the first thing I'm interested in like looking at is like, the future of like job automation. So I think it's like predicted that like 2/3 of all jobs at some point in the future are going to become automated. And so, how does that kind of like change how we exist as a society? Like obviously currently we're all kind of like living to work. And so I think it could be interesting to like design like a series of scenarios in which we like look at different, like, if jobs become automated, and then what does that do to society? So like maybe there could be like one where there's like the leisure society and like maybe everybody becomes like super lazy and they're just like really like gluttonous. Or it could be another scenario where it becomes very much like the community like building ground up and like people like learn like actual like skills and like they build their community up like from the ground and they all get to like live in that and experience it. And then another thing I was looking at was obviously like coronavirus has changed the way that we interact with our built environment. And will we ever really be able to like go back into like a physical space with like a large group of people? And so I was specifically thinking about like a nightclub, for instance. Are we actually really going to be able to enjoy that ever again? And so what if there was something where, like we all had these like a nightclub simulation or something, and we all were like, we had these like avatars, right? And like everybody, we can interact on a daily basis with like our close group of people, but then, the new way that we experience like going out is like through these like avatars in this like online like digital space.
Nice.
And then I was also kind of thinking about food deserts. And so that's basically like an area that doesn't have access to like nutritious food. And it's usually like poor areas where that happens. And so what about creating some sort of like experience or like simulation, like a food desert cafe, for instance, so people could like show up and upon arrival to the cafe, they're given like some sort of like geographical location in the city. And based on that, maybe it's a poorer area that's a food desert, and based off of that, they can only order like certain things on the menu. Whereas like somebody else that they've shown up with is in a food oasis and they can order anything they want. And it's basically to like educate and show, why that needs to change, like why we need to get rid of food deserts. But yeah, it's kind of like my initial thinking.
Cool. Right. Like I said, just come up, any ideas, any wild ideas, just come up with them, put them down, and then we'll record them down. So Jay, what ideas have you got? Spout them all to me. Wild or not, doesn't matter. I'm mute as well.
Right, I started off with thinking about governance and in the future, and I thought that what we really need to be moving towards is citizens who trust governments, governments who trust citizens. That seems to all be out of kilter. So I had a column for citizens and a column for governments, and one mutual thing was both being tooled up for communication in each direction, so having the proper tools to be able to communicate. Citizens should be politically literate or enabled to be. They should therefore become engaged, empowered and effective. And governments should be transparent, responsive, accountable, flexible so they can deal with things like the pandemic when they need to, and effective. And trust should really be seen as a currency in the future, because that seems to be a bit lacking at the moment.
Nice. Cool. Let's see. Kate, have you got, let's hear your ideas, Kate.
Here. So I started to visualize them. I'll put them on the mirror shortly, but they are here. So the first one here is bias tracking. It's my idea from yesterday. So it would be an app or an algorithm that reads through your messages and it can identify if you are having some unconscious bias, and then teach you how to not do it anymore. The second one is some eco-friendly way to travel long distance. I don't know how, but that would be very valuable. Then also about algorithms that tracks our messages. I think there could be an algorithm that reads through the messages of a child and also of contents that they read to send alerts to parents if there is some mental health concern, that maybe they're showing some behaviors that are possibly dangerous for them. Also some system that would purify water from xenoestrogens, because at the moment water is only purified from objects, but it's not purified from microplastics or xenoestrogens, which is leading to a loss in fertility and decreasing cancers. Then we have, I would like an education that is built around creative confidence, where failing is not seen as bad, it's seen as learning. Where children can develop self-belief and they can feel comfortable with ambiguity. Also, I think there could be some surfaces that highlight bacteria and that makes them visible. Maybe it's about having, there's this light, I don't remember how it's called, but there's this light that makes visible the bacteria and viruses. So maybe the surfaces could have this built in so that we can see where they are. Then also I'm interested in the way we talk to each other. So there's something called nonviolent communication, and I think it's very valuable to learn. And I think there could be again some algorithm that checks the way we text to each other, and the same way that the Grammarly does highlight if we make some mistake in English, writing in English. It could highlight if your style of communication in certain message is quite offensive, and then it also can facilitate learning nonviolent communication. Also, I think about concept of not owning things and kind of everyday radical sharing. So maybe there could be a platform where neighbors can share with each other's objects such as bicycles, cars, and everyday objects that are there and they don't need them to use all the time. So this also, I think it could be beneficial if clothes would have already built in a recycle guide, so all the ingredients, and to let the customer know how to recycle them if they are no longer using it or don't want to give it to someone else. Also, I think it could be valuable if objects had the same kind of code for ingredients, and maybe this could work together with bins that would facilitate recycling. So if the object has a code on the packaging and the bin is reading the code, it can tell you if you're recycling right or wrong. Because I see that I think it's less in the UK, but where I'm from in Poland, people just recycle in the wrong way. They do it and the system is there, but they just don't do it in practice very well. And the last idea is about gender inequality in household, because women do more household tasks all around the world still. And I think there could be some devices like the hoovers and this kind of stuff that could identify what kind, if there's a man or a woman, if there's a wife or husband, or what partner, one partner, two, who is doing this, and produce reports at the end of the month or the week, for them to learn and to just perceive who is doing more, because oftentimes it's just not visible and we only see the end result. We see the swept floor, the floor that is clean. We don't see who did it and how long it took. Yeah, so these are my ideas.
Cool. Give us 1 second, just 1 sec. We'll move on to Kelly in 1 moment. I'm just checking one thing. Just keep writing down those answers, and then we can go over them in a sec. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Okay, the board's looking better now. I'm liking it. I think you can maybe can you change the size of post-it notes? Some are huge, some are tiny. We've got, you know, it's looking like a bit of a collage. If you can edit your post-it note, I don't know if you can, try and shrink it down so we can get as much ideas in that box. Obviously, we can just move outside the box. But anyway, okay, Kelly, let us know your ideas. Go wild.
Okay.
Give me as much just information oozing.
Sure. So my first idea is creating like a calm space for people with opposing political views to come and try to like gain a deeper understanding of each other and kind of acknowledge that like the current systems we have in place aren't working and we're purposely like pinned against each other and attached to these political groups that make it harder for us to like break away and think outside of what we're told. You know, if you're part of this group, you have to believe these certain things. So yeah, just like a space for communication that focuses on like deeper understanding and connection. Another idea is a moving space that relocates to various different countries, and it's like a culture exchange. So like maybe like a van or a bus or something that goes to different countries and asks people in different communities what they want to share with the world, and this like a collection of items or written material or whatever, you know, they want to contribute, that's then brought to other countries and cultures to learn about. So kind of creating this like museum, and then similar to that, a moving like clothing exchange. So same concept, but just with clothes from different countries all over the world. Then I think everyone should have a therapist in school. Yeah, more of an emphasis on like support and a deeper connection and understanding of people in schools. And I think kind of recreating the whole school system is another idea. Basically the way we work, like take the emphasis away from individual test taking and instead implement a collaborative environment, and kind of like you're as strong as your weakest link mentality. So having classes of students working together to achieve a goal or several goals together, instead of expecting everyone to like fit in this one box. And yeah, and then I wrote pairing up people who come from widely different backgrounds, and just asking them to get to know each other, have some communication, kind of like pen pals. But yeah, hopefully I could expand on that idea a bit further. But yeah, that's what I got for now.
Nice. Leda, what have you got? I feel like you've got loads of ideas.
Yeah, so I tried to visualize the word I was seeing before, and something I'd like to see there was some kind of system to pair students who live away from their families with elders whose family moved away, like to have activities together, Sunday lunches. It's something that in Italy it's really part of the tradition, and this doesn't happen, but it'd be nice to see. And on the same mood of finding something that has a problem and something else that also is a problem that can be a solution for the first one, I was thinking about populating villages that were abandoned by younger generations. We have lots of them here in the countryside with refugees families that need a new start somehow. These places get completely abandoned. It's a shame, really. There's so many people who need a house, a shelter, not just refugees. That could be something. And then I was thinking about the redistribution of wealth. So creating something, a game maybe, something really interactive, really playful, show people how unethical is being rich. Like no one needs to spend that amount of money. No one needs $1 billion. That's the idea behind it, to empower people and show them practically what having money actually means and how weird it is that wealth is so unequally distributed. And last one, I was just thinking about the gardens I like to see in the city in the future. So some sort of empowering kids in big cities, especially not in the countryside, but in cities, by distributing guerrilla gardening kits. Just like a set of stuff you can use to plant flowers, but not only, also vegetables. And so creating around these kits competitions maybe, or events for the best neighborhood and this kind of stuff. But working with kids to me is important in these. Yeah, that's it.
Nice. I love that. Some really cool ideas coming in. Remember, just write everything down. I think we've kind of got our own little segments on the board. So just, keep writing down. Make sure I just wanted to say that the post-it notes, they resize based on whatever you type. So you don't need to make them big. They can be small and we can zoom in, and they keep the same amount of text in it. The text doesn't disappear if you minimize it. So we try and keep them as even as possible. Then that means that we can get all of our ideas in the box. Yes. Anyway, just so Louis, go on, hit us with all your amazing ideas.
Okay, so first of all, I was thinking about maintaining a sizable income, could even be a minimum wage for anyone in the creative sector. So in the world of streaming especially, there is a reduced pay per play of content, and the content creators in all areas of entertainment make pretty much close to nothing. To think of Spotify, it's 0.006 pounds that you get for each play, and it's only the big fish in the pond that can make a living off of creative material in Spotify sense. But it's the same with YouTube and lots of creative platforms. So maybe it could be a law or some kind of software that is able to reduce the pirating and downloading of digital content. So like photography, could there be a software on every computer that disables the ability to just save someone's photograph that they've taken, because there's no way to stop that. And secondly, I mean, this was mentioned before, and it was talking about unemployment due to inevitable mass sort of automation by robotics. But it's finding some way of enabling unemployed people to contribute to society. Billions of people it will be in the next 10 or so years. So it's the only way in which that can happen is if people contribute in the humanities or the arts sector, creative sector, because that cannot be replicated by a robot. So I don't have a solution there, but something to think about. The third of the fourth point is make the internet or access to the internet free for everyone in the world. I mean, that would be a big shift and a big ask, but there's lots of money out there. It could happen. So everyone in the world can have access to the internet in some way. That would be quite something. And finally, converting offices and big office blocks into apartments, because I mean, it's quite clear that the traditional sort of 9-to-5 job format is not really compatible with the modern world. Working from home in public spaces in your own time and your own shifts, it's increasingly popular with millennials at the moment, and it's the future of jobs. So converting office spaces and large complexes into apartments and places where people can live and yeah, community.
Nice, love it, love it. Okay, so let's see. I think it's Safa now. Safa, tell us all your brilliant ideas. And just gonna say, once we kind of went through everyone, then we'll just go back at the start, but we'll just do rapid fire, like one each. We'll just keep going bang, bang, bang. So it gives people a little bit of time to come up with another one. It can be as random as you want, as mental as you want, as safe as you want, as cool as you want, whatever. Just get them down. We want to win. We want to win this. Okay. So Safa, we'll get Safa, Sherry, Chuangi, and Tiffany, and then we'll go back to start and we'll just do one. Keep going. Cool. So Safa, go on.
Okay, I will share two of my ideas. The first one is about reduce the paper printing by using the projection technology for posters and banners, ad especially. Why I'm saying that? Because basically here in Bahrain, and I'm sure for some countries, I see how people and companies and even us as a visual designer student, we used to print tons and tons of paper just for the poster and ad. So what if we could use the technology to solve this problem without using tons of paper? So this is one idea. The second one is a platform between all of the motion and the graphic designer, especially the beginner around the world, because I feel we could share our experience, knowledge to build and develop more effective idea for the world. So these are the main two. I'm still writing some others in manner. So yeah.
Perfect. I like that. What was your first idea again? I didn't catch it. What was the first one?
About reducing the usage of paper.
Okay. The users what?
Reduce the usage of paper.
Oh, usage of paper. Brilliant. Okay. How do you think you do that? Did you come up or like any idea?
The idea is mainly for ads and posters right now, because I see how the banners and ads all around the road and street. So what if we could change for something with technology rather than the paper itself?
Okay, brilliant. I like that. Okay. Sherry, tell us a few of your ideas. Go on.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yes. My idea is mainly about mainly focus on the communication between social society, and the second part may focus on nature and the environment. So for the first ideas, is I would like to make an online platform that all artists, scientists, engineers, and like or singers, workers, and like someone who can stay one online platform, and the communication between them, and they can talk with each other, and they will know more about their own professional skills and their own thinkings. And
Where did she go? She just disappeared. She had such a good idea as well. Where is she? She just disappeared. Okay, we're going to Shwangi. We'll come back to. Yeah.
Right. So the first idea that I had was a free program to bring people from all backgrounds where they can share and learn about each other's culture and heritage. So this would be first, it would be done in particular countries, then it would go big, all around the world. Then the second one was Hunger Games in real life combined with the Amazing Race. Okay, so two or more people, or like a big group of people from each state would be chosen. They would represent particular states from wherever they belong. So yeah, so these group of people would be sent to random states first, again starting with particular countries, starting with our with their own countries. Okay, so suppose India has 29 states, so two or more people from each state, like a group of people would be randomly sent to different states, where again they would be able to and learn and teach each other about their culture and heritage. Again, another idea to bring people from various backgrounds together. So again, after that, just like the Hunger Games, the winners, or the final group of winners would be sent to different countries. First it would start in the country, first it would start in the states, then they would be taken to different countries all around the world. So that's the second one. Then the other one is sustainability taught from the very grassroots level and to everyone. Sustainability being taught from the starting of preschool, so that children know and value the importance of sustainability. Oh shit, my battery is running low. Okay. Mandatory education all over the world till the age of 14. Then government aided education for the poor and neglected, or for the people who don't have an identity, who don't have a voice. So government aided education for them, I feel, would be a really good initiative. I mean, there are already some initiatives happening, but this on a bigger and deeper level. Then fast fashion brands either eradicating the whole idea of fast fashion altogether, or taking up sustainable approach and practices into making their clothes. Another one, a mandatory inclusion of mental health in every school or educational institutions. I think mental health right now is a very sensitive and important topic. So in the future, I would really like mental health to be taught as one of the subjects in all of the schools, And finally, provision of food to everyone in the world, so that I know uh, it's a little too much to say, but provision of food to everyone in the world so that nobody goes to sleep with an empty stomach. It's a little too much to ask as of now, but I think if we all work towards it, it is possible someday. Thank you.
Nice. Okay, I'm just creating some more space on the board. Okay, so you can branch out a bit more. Love that. Okay, and we've got Tiffany for the last one, and then we'll just go rapid fire one. So yeah. Hold on. Let me just. So Tiffany, are you there? Tiffany, are you there?
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, cool. So give us some ideas.
Yeah, so I have several ideas. So I think there will be shelters for disasters built everywhere in the world. And I think there will be we will have the moon residency become true, and we can easily get to the moon from our home. And I think we can also in the future there will be more shared things for not just like currently we have Uber and Airbnb, and in the future we probably will share more things like the business will share their warehouse, or we can maybe share our food to we will have time chance to eat dinner with someone with a stranger like through a platform. And also we will have most properties turn into the residential properties, as the office will turn to the virtuals. And also gaming industry will be blooming, and more AI equipment will be created to help people to enjoy more. And also, I think the education resources will become more equal to everyone in the world, as lots of universities will have their online courses taught, and the certification for online courses will be accepted more. Also, I think we will have a mind reading machine to help people understand each other, and also we will have a affordable robot servant in our house. And also, I feel there will be no country concept and no border, and we will have wearable fly equipment, and so we can just fly, like each individual can fly. And also I think there will be the waste reuse rate will increase, which means the environment will get better.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the start. We're just gonna do, okay, so one thing I'm gonna reiterate is that we're coming up with, how you would change the world. Okay, so it's not what we think the world's gonna be like. It's, how would you make an impact? What would you do in the future? How would you change it? What would you, what would you make? What would you like to see? Yeah, so, and like I posted something in the Purple group chat just saying, to get some inspiration from yesterday, to try and push a kind of idea deeper, is if you could change the world and could not fail, what would you do? So, think about that. So we're going to start with Amy again. Just give me one idea. We're going to do it really super quick.
Hi. Sorry, did you see my message?
No. Where's your message?
Just because I don't, isn't it lunchtime now? Just because I need to go somewhere during this hour. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we'll jump off for lunch just now.
Is that okay? Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that's okay. I didn't realize I just read the messages there. Cool. Okay, we'll jump off for lunch just now. I'll write down the rest of ideas. If you have any ideas over lunch, just stick them in the Miro on a note, and we'll get back to it. Okay, so yeah, just don't leave the group. Just turn off your camera and your mic, and we'll get back to it when we're back. Cool.
Thank you.
Well done, everyone.